Good morning. Welcome to the United States Sports Academy and Sports Talk, our weekly show that happens at 11:30 Central every Wednesday for all you sports fans out there. Today is our Major League Baseball playoff edition of Sports Talk. Today with me is Mr. Ben Billman, right, one of our great teaching assistants here, and Mr. Brett Simmermacher, one of our great full-time professors, and a couple of big baseball fans. So what we're going to do for you today, and hopefully this will stir some conversation, we're going to make our predictions for the baseball playoffs coming up. We're going to predict each series, and all of us are going to make a prediction at the end who we think is going to win it all. Well, the playoffs started last night, and for those of you who watched this last week, you will know that absolutely none of us picked the Astros to win that game. I actually had the Astros and the Yankees in the game, but I had the Yankees winning. I think you had the Angels.
I picked the Angels. I picked the Angels winning.
Yeah, you guys both had the Angels and the Yankees. You had the Angels winning, you had the Yankees winning. So all three of us were wrong. Having said that, we're going to go forward with our fearless predictions, and we're going to be right on all of these. Actually, I don't think we can all be right. Let's pick exactly the same. Anyway, for you Yankee fans out there, I guess you still got the Mets to root for. And for you Astros fans, it's time to quit partying and go to work. You got another game when they start Thursday night? Thursday night. Okay, so the first game we have on tap is the one-game playoff between the second and the third best teams in baseball this year, according to the records. And actually, it's kind of sad that one team with 98 wins and one team with 97 wins, one of them's going to be done tonight. That's right. So who do you like, Brett?
Well, I'm going to go with what I think is going to be if you look at last night's game, and I said it last week, I believe good pitching will stop good hitting any day of the week, and I'm going to go with the Cubs.
I mean, you can't go wrong. Like you said, these are the second and third best teams based on winning percentage and wins in the majors. It's a pity they have to meet in this one-game playoff. I wish both of them had a chance to prove themselves over a 5 or 7 game series. I'm going to go with the Pirates. They play at home, and they have some postseason experience. The Cubs have almost none. But Joe Maddon's a great manager. He can get the Cubs going, and Jake Arrieta is a great pitcher. I'm going to give the Pirates a slight advantage, but it's a toss-up. It's 50-50 in my book.
I'm actually rooting for the Pirates because both my sons went to college at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, and literally from my son's dorm room where he stayed his junior and senior year, you could see PNC Park from his window. So I'm gonna root for the Pirates, but I think one thing that the Pirates may have going for them, I read, I think it was on ESPN.com this morning that the Pirates have hired Steve Bartman to pick Jake Arrieta and take him to the ballpark. So maybe he won't make it in time. Last year the Pirates had a one-game playoff against Madison Bumgarner, and we saw how that worked out. And this year they're going against who I think 2 of the 3 of us picked to be the Cy Young Award winner of the National League. So, if Arrieta pitches well, last night, the guy from Houston, Dallas Keuchel, he didn't give up a run to the Yankees all year. 22 innings now total, and never gave up a run. So they couldn't stop him. I think Jake Arrieta will pitch the Cubs on to the next round. You talked about the 2 best teams, the 2 of the 3 best teams in baseball, and some would argue with the injuries that the Cardinals have experienced in the last couple of weeks, he's made right now be the 2 best teams in baseball. I think it's the NBA next year is going to purely by record for the seedings. The division champions no longer matter. Maybe baseball should think about something like that. So the 2 teams that make the playoffs with the worst records play in the one game playoff. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we've all got Chicago going on to face the Cardinals in the next
game. Oh,
that's right. You picked the Pirates. Okay, so
you'll be rooting for the Pirates.
I'll be rooting for the Pirates, but I'm picking Chicago, so I'll be happy either way, right? I'll either be right or happy. Okay, let's go. Thursday nights is the American League games. We have Toronto versus Texas and Kansas City versus Houston. I'll let you go first this time, Ben. Who do you like in the Toronto-Texas series?
I'm going to go with Toronto in 4 games. I've seen a lot of predictions on ESPN.com and other sport websites, and I struggle to find anyone who's picking the Rangers to even compete in this series, which I think I agree with. I think the Blue Jays are balanced across pitching, hitting. They made some midseason trades that are really helping them out. Blue Jays in 4.
Okay. And for those of you who don't know, he's not predicting the sweep. That first round is best 3 out of 5.
Yes.
So he's picking Blue Jays in 4. Brett?
And I'm going to go the opposite of that because the experts are saying the Rangers. I think that's going to motivate the Rangers because everybody's saying Toronto's going to win the game. And, I coached out in New Mexico and Texas conference, junior college baseball, and all my Texas guys might not like it. I don't pick the Rangers.
Gotcha, yeah.
I'm going to go with the Rangers.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go with Toronto. I think that one of the things, and this happens every year in baseball, and I mean, it'll happen to the Astros and either the Pirates or the Cubs going forward. Toronto has their ace going tonight or tomorrow night. To Texas, to get in or to win the division, had to pitch, what's his name, Cole Hamels on Sunday, and he pitched great, by the way. But now he's probably not available until game 2 or maybe even 3, depending on how they want to do it. So I'm going to go with Toronto in 4 games. I think that we Ben and I were talking about this yesterday. The Blue Jays actually have number 3 hitters batting 1 through 6 in their lineup. If Tulowitzki comes back healthy, he's the number 3 hitter batting leadoff. Donaldson's the number 3 hitter batting second. Bautista's hitting 3rd. I can't remember who the 4th hitter is. Encarnacion's hitting 5th. So they've just got an incredible lineup. They've got, with Price now, they have the ace. Texas has the ace with Hamels, but he won't be available in game 1. And if it goes 5, if it goes 5 games, Toronto will have Price for games 1 and 5. So I'm gonna give Toronto. I'm gonna agree with Ben on this one and go Toronto in 4. Okay, the other American League playoff series is best 3 out of 5 is Houston at Kansas City, and Kansas City has a home field advantage in this one.
I'm going to go with the Royals. I think they've continued on where they left off last year with the season that they had, and I don't see. I actually have them going all the way to the World Series, so I really don't see any other. If Toronto gets by Texas, I think it's going to be a great series, but I think the Royals are going to end up in the World Series.
Okay, so you got the Royals over Houston. How many games?
I'm going to say 4 games.
Okay. Ben?
I have the same, the Royals over the Astros in 4. The Astros, though, last night played an incredible game. You can tell there's a real loyalty factor between their manager, AJ Hinch, and the players. There's something good going on there in Houston, but I think the Royals, at least this year, are a little too tough.
I actually think that I'm picking the Astros. I think the Astros are this year's Royals from last year. People forget the Royals were in that 12-inning wild card game with the A's last year, and they went all the way through the World Series. It's kind of interesting. There was a Sports Illustrated cover much earlier this year, and it had a picture of the Houston Astros and said 2017 World Series champions. So that with all that great young talent, Korea hadn't even been called up yet, but he didn't come up till May or June. Yeah. And I saw something on TV the other day. He was the youngest player ever to hit 22 home runs in his first 100 games, and he broke it. I think Alex Rodriguez had the previous record. But I'm gonna go with Houston in 5. I think it's gonna go to the limit. The Astros, they won't have their ace Keuchel till game 3. Right. So that could be something that.
But he pitched last night on 3 days rest.
He did.
So
and a lot of experts over the years, when you watch games, say that people that throw that don't throw a lot, that don't throw 100 miles an hour, that depend on control and movement, oftentimes being a little bit tired can be an advantage. Sure. And he even said in the post-game interview last night, he thinks he's built to work better on short rest than long rest. He said a couple of times this year when he pitched on 6 days rest, he didn't pitch very well at all. But another good thing about holding him out to game 3, he was 15-0 at home this year.
Yeah.
So he's gonna pitch the first game in Houston. Yeah. So that could be an advantage. Okay, so I've got Houston. You two guys both have the Royals. I've got Toronto. Ben's got Toronto, and you've got Texas. So that's good. We're not the same on anything. Let's move on to the National League Series, which start Friday night. First is the Cubs or the Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. We all picked Chicago, right? No, you picked Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So if Pittsburgh wins, who do you think is going to win the series between the Pirates and the Cardinals?
I have the Cardinals in 5, but I could see that again. The Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Cubs. Again, those were the 3 best records in baseball, and honestly, I don't see much difference between those 3 teams. I picked the Cardinals in 5, basically because it seems like every year the Cardinals find a way to pull out games in the playoffs, and they have home field, and I think that will make the difference in that 5th game.
Okay.
I agree. I think the Cardinals will end up winning the series, but I think it's going to be Chicago, just based off Arrieta pitching tonight. And I'm like you. The Cardinals find a way to win.
Yeah, Mike Matheny's a good manager.
Yes.
For many years there, everybody thought it was all Tony La Russa.
Right.
Maybe there's something to that Cardinals way of doing things.
Right. And I just think it's going to go 5 games. I'd love to see the Cub St. Louis rivalry, so to speak. I know Dr. Frederick and Dr. Cromartie will go at it, shouting down the hallway down there. But I just think that's, and then I think the Cardinals are going to be playing. We'll go next.
Okay, yeah, we'll go next. The next series is the Dodgers and the Mets. Dodgers have home field advantage. First 2 games, the Mets have to face Kershaw and Greinke in the twilight, pitching it out of the shade into the sunlight, or out of the sunlight in the shade, however it goes. But actually, one of the reasons why the Mets were trying so hard to win that home field is so they would not have Kershaw and Greinke in the shadows. So who do you like in the Dodgers-Mets series?
I think the Dodgers are going to win that series. We talked about a little bit off the air before we came on that, Harvey, one of the best pitchers for the Mets, can't get to practice on time. So that's causing a little controversy behind the scenes.
David, who's the third baseman? David. Right. He wasn't overly supportive of Harvey answering his comments. He said something like, "Well, I'm worried about who's here, not who's not.
Right.
I'm not worried about who's not here."
Right.
I believe that it's one of those things. If Harvey comes out and pitches a complete game shutout, everybody will forget about it. If he comes out and gets shelled, that would be because he was late to practice on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So who do you like in the Dodger-Mets series?
I'm going Dodgers as well. You've got Kershaw game 1, Greinke game 2, and if it does go 5, probably Kershaw would pitch game 5.
I think that's why they pitched Kershaw in game 1, because they historically he's done better on short rest than Greinke has.
So if it goes 5, you got 3 games of those 5 by 2 potential Cy Young winners.
Right.
And I have the Dodgers winning in 4, but even if it goes to 5, I still feel confident the Dodgers would win.
Okay, I actually picked the Mets in this series, but I could easily see the Dodgers jumping out to a 2-0 lead with Kershaw and Greinke, and then winning one of the games in New York. Okay, so we got National League Championship Series. We got I've got Cubs and Mets. You've got Cardinals and Cubs. I've got Cubs and Mets. Who do you have?
Cardinals and the Mets.
Cardinals and Mets, and you've got.
I've got Dodgers and Cardinals.
Okay, so we're all different. So who do you got going to the World Series from the National League?
I got the Cardinals going.
Okay.
Once again, I just think they're going to find a way to win.
Yeah.
Even against the good pitching from LA, I just think they're going to find a way to win.
I think a big key for the Cardinals is Molina's health. He's going to try to play tomorrow night or Friday night with a splint on his thumb. We'll see how that works out. So who do you got going to the World Series from the National League?
I have the Dodgers in 6, and again, I think it comes down to pitching.
Okay, I've actually got the Mets going to the World Series. I have them beating the Cubs in the NLCS, and I can see that one going to a 7-game series. And I think of all the great pitching that we've talked about, I think if you line up 1, 2, 3, 4, I think when you get to 3 and 4, the Mets, the depth of the Mets pitching staff, I think is the best of all the teams, and I think that's why they're going to go to the World Series. Okay, who do you got, Ben? Who do you got going to the World Series for the American League?
Well, I had the Blue Jays and the Royals there, and I picked the Blue Jays over the Royals at 6. Again, I really like the Blue Jays top to bottom this year, so I'm going Toronto.
Okay.
And I already touched.
You got the Royals.
Gave my hand away earlier.
Well, I've got Toronto and Houston playing in the American League Championship Series, and I agree with Ben. I think Toronto's hitting. It will be just too much for anybody they face from the American League. But they will have a little bit of a disadvantage when they get to the World Series in the National League Park, because they won't be able to use the DH. But they do have the home field advantage by virtue of the American League winning the All-Star game. Okay, so to wrap this thing up, who do you got winning it all?
I've got the Royals winning it all.
Okay, how many games in the World Series?
I'm going to say it's going to go 7, and the Royals are going to win.
We all hope it goes.
In the 15th inning.
We all hope.
Cardiac Royals.
We all hope it goes 7 so that we can watch
Get more
baseball.
baseball.
Yeah.
Ben?
I have the Dodgers over the Blue Jays. I think my pick is because I want to hear Vin Scully call a World Series championship for the Dodgers at the end.
Okay.
So.
I've got the Blue Jays and the Mets, and I think Toronto's going to win it all. And I think they're going to win in 6 games, bottom of 9th, walk-off home run by Joe Carter.
That's already happened.
To Josh Donaldson,
Okay.
one of
Okay.
Auburn boys. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us today. We'll see how our predictions come out in a couple weeks. And next week, we'll be back with you with a different topic and a different subject. And we want to thank you folks for sending in your topics to us at sportstalk@ussa.edu. Keep them coming, and we'll keep trying to talk about what you guys are interested in. Have a great week in sports, and we'll see you next Wednesday.